Hi, it's great to have you along. I'm meteorologist Andy Parker. Great to be with you as we prepare for the big holiday storm coming up. I know everybody has a lot of questions out there, and what we're doing tonight is answering all those questions for you. I'm going to take you through the storm. You'll have an opportunity to type your questions in. We can see the comments and we'll answer them as fast as we can on the right-hand side of the screen. So many people have things happening this holiday weekend. This storm begins on Friday. Here's a look at it. As we pop it on the screen, this is how it's going to transpose through time. It begins in the Midwest, works its way all the way into Western New York. We'll begin feeling the effects of the storm in the form of rain on Thursday, the switch to snow on Friday, and then we'll get those big winds with lake effect snow as we move from Friday into Saturday. So if you want to get your questions in, pop them on the screen and we'll be able to answer them right here. We've got a question coming in from Adam. He says, a big snowstorm. It's a big wind storm with snow. I think that's how I would characterize it. Tracy says hello. We've got Melanie in the house, and then who else? We've got Jennifer. We've got a question here that says, Bill, how much will Cheektowaga get? I can't stress to you, Bill, it's not about the amount of snow. It's the wind and the snow combination that's going to be a huge problem here. Cheektowaga is going to get wind and they're going to get snow. It's that combo that's coming in, and it looks like it's going to target that area Friday night and Saturday with both of those. This one scares me. I hate wind. I'm not a fan of wind either, but here we go. We've got no choice. It is coming in. How will Tonawanda fare? Tonawanda is going to be right in the mix of this as it goes through. Let me take a moment and break down all of these things. We're going to get the school closings, travel in and out, air travel. We'll cover it all. You guys are driving the bus. What I need for you to do is smash the like button and the share button. Whether you're watching on Twitter, YouTube, or Facebook, find that share button, hit it now, and here we go. Let me bring this full on the screen, and we're going to talk about the timing of the storm straight out of the gate. Number one, you're going to hear a lot about this storm hitting the Midwest. There it is. The time that we have on the screen is 8 o'clock on Thursday. You have nothing but rain, folks. Just rain all day Thursday. Then we get to Friday morning. Do you see what's happening here on the screen as we start to see the rain transition? And then it goes over to snow. It locks into snow during the morning hours. The bigger picture here is that the rain continues to the east, and then now we're left with a swirling wind and snowstorm in the Great Lakes, and that's the signature of lake effect. Let me back this up one more time. I'm going to bring you into a closer view, this time just Western New York, just the timing of this on its arrival. Here we go again with Thursday. You've got the rain coming in on Thursday, and that's how it happens. A steady soaking rain. There's a lot of water coming down, and then you can see as we transition into the early morning hours, there it is, between 8 and 10. Let me freeze frame it there, right around 9 o'clock. And that is when we're going to see that transition over to snow. So this is going to switch properties. We're going to go from a very wet situation to one that switches to white. In addition, we're going to have the temperatures drop severely. And as that does, you're going to hear about this flash freeze. Let me put this on the screen and slide out of the way for a second. This is what you're going to find. The temperatures going from the 40s to the 30s to the 20s in such a compressed manner that any of the slush, the few inches of slush that we get in the morning on Friday, are going to freeze right up. You're going to have sidewalks, untreated roadways, very difficult. You're not getting a lot of snow on Friday. You get a lot of wind. The winds pick up on Friday and they will howl. Here's another look at how this works. Rain in the morning, and then we're blowing snow with bitter cold by the time we get to the evening hours here. All right, let's get a couple of questions in. I'm going to bring this back up to the stream here and start it up so you guys can kind of keep an eye on how this evolves across Western New York while I answer a couple of these. Back up here again, if you can, right now, hit that share button and the like button. Roll this number up. I know we've got a few hundred people in here right out of the gate, so let's bring that number up. It helps me to help you, and I appreciate that. What about a blizzard watch? We really don't do blizzard watches. It goes winter storm, and then it'll probably go into blizzard at some point. If the combination of the lake snow and the wind will create whiteout conditions across Western New York. Is this a definite? The wind and the snow combination is a definite, and it's going to continue during the day on Saturday. I think that Christmas Eve is going to be the toughest one out here. All right, have we gotten all the way down there? Hey, Joe Kennedy down in Fort Lauderdale, beautiful down there. We've got Attica in the house. We've got Bill in the house. Thank you very much. And will travel to the Sabres game on Friday night be difficult? Absolutely, because you're going to have these winds. It'll be icy, and then the wind comes on top of it. And I think if the snow begins when the Sabres game is getting going, you're going to have bad visibilities, and it could be a difficult situation. I think that game is a 50-50 at best. Wheatfield is going to get hit by the snow and the cold. Friday, Wheatfield, you get a couple of inches of snow, then it gets icy and you get blowing snow for the rest of the day. That's what happens up there. Let's go into the next thing in there. Aaron, thank you very much for sharing that. Appreciate it. If everybody could do that for me, it'd be fantastic. Come on now. I know there's a bunch more people just came in. Hit that button. We'll get this going. I'm answering all your questions as fast as we can. Which day is worse, Jody says? Saturday or Friday, or I should say Saturday or Sunday? Saturday is going to be the worst of the 2 days. The winds are going to be elevated. Look at these winds on Saturday. These are the numbers. Let me pull you off the screen. I'm going to pull myself off the screen as well. We could have winds Friday night into Saturday morning in excess of 60 miles an hour, combining with lake snow. It's going to be the visibility that's the problem. You're not going to be able to go out and stick a ruler in this because you're going to have all of these drifts. We haven't had big drifts in a while, but that's what we're headed for in this situation. And those winds don't really stop. They're just going to slow down from 60 to 50 to 40. 40-mile-an-hour winds with these lake effect bands could be a real problem across Western New York. Here's a better look at some of these winds and the timing of it as they come in. Let me see if we can do this one right here. There we go. This is going to be the timing of the biggest winds. I'm going to pause it right about there. So 2:30 in the morning. Even I can back that up a little bit more. I think what we're going to end up with is in the 7 to 10 o'clock hour, a pretty big jump on Friday. A pretty big jump in those winds. And then the really big winds come in as we hit the overnight hours. See the reds coming up? And within there, those are the 60-mile-an-hour gusts. That includes Dunkirk, Springville, Buffalo, Batavia, a lot of the north towns really taking the brunt of this as it comes through. Southwest winds right up the lake. And these are when you're going to find those the really big gusts that'll be slowly backing down by the time we get into Saturday. The day on Saturday, we'll see those numbers drop down. But even then, it's only going to drop down to the 40-mile-an-hour range as opposed to 60. That covers the winds. All right, which day was worse? I think I covered that. Saturday is worse. How will Lancaster do through all the, are they in the middle of this again? Let me bring this up and we'll talk about lake effect and we'll talk about Lancaster, cover that for you here. This will answer a lot of other questions as well. Here again is Thursday night. There's the rain. Here comes the snow. The changeover to the snow is in the morning hours between 8 and 10 a.m. You're going to get 2 to 3 inches of snow, and that's it. Then the snow shuts down for a little while. The wind ramps up, and then the lake effect kicks in. Here's why the Sabres game is under the gun. Check out where this starts off and the timing of it. You're going to start to see conditions deteriorate again between 8 and midnight, which would coincide with the Sabres playing and then coming out of there. That's when you could have these whiteout conditions, the blizzard-like conditions with these big gusts of wind combining with the bursts of snow, and that'll run right up along the 90. Travel becomes very difficult on the 90 in the corridor leading up into the north towns. As we transition into the day on Saturday, that's when this lake band migrates just further to the south, encompassing much of the Chautauqua shoreline in southern Erie County, maybe giving the north towns a break on your Saturday morning into Saturday evening, setting the stage for what is going to be a very difficult day for travel right through the lake snow. If you're not in the lake snow, let me come up full again. If you're not going to be in the lake snow, you've got a windy and cold day, it's going to be okay. If you're inside that lake snow, that is going to be the biggest problem because it's not just free-falling snow, but it's these big winds. All right, we've covered that one there. Let's go down here. White Christmas. Yes, it is going to be a white Christmas, no doubt about it. Whatever falls on Friday is not melting. It is going to stick around. Can I make it into NT Thursday at 2 and back? Yes. Thursday is nothing but rain. More than a half inch of rain, between a half inch to 3/4 of an inch of rain. That's a lot of water, and that's why that flash freeze is an issue, because you're going to have these puddles of water icing up very quickly. Will it be a blizzard because of the winds? You're going to have the winds, and then you need to have a long duration, more than 3 hours of visibility that is extremely low. And I think we're going to hit that criteria depending upon the movement of that band. We'll be watching that. It has to be continuous. It can't be any breaks in there. But either way, you're going to have whiteouts, whether it ends up being a blizzard definition or just whiteouts. What about Sunday? Lake snows will be migrating further to the south. You can see that presented here. The further you get into the Christmas Eve time, and then it'll likely stay there and continue on Sunday, but the winds will still be going on Sunday. Thank you, Joe. Always a pleasure to talk to you, man. Hope you're enjoying your time down there. School closings on Friday. Let me take a drink. I've had multiple administrators talk to me. We've kind of exchanged some information. They're looking at the Friday window as being uneasy to bring the kids in, because there's not a really great window to bring them home with that with the flash freeze. They're contemplating, should we just call it or not? It's not going to be a half day. If they do it, they're going to close them totally. 1 to 2 feet for Hamburg, 65-mile-an-hour gusts. If that's a request, I'm not sure about the 1 to 2 feet with this one. It's going to be very difficult to measure. When you have these lake effect storms with these strong winds, they tend to get sheared and ripped apart, so they're not quite as organized. But it doesn't take as much snow, because you're going to have the whiteouts. Take a look at this. Flying out early Friday morning. It's going to be the same thing, Jim. Just what we had talked about. A lot of folks are asking questions about what is it going to be for me at this time and that time. I encourage you to text my line at 503 Andy, 503-2639, and you can have your questions answered and then be updated on this. Let's take it to Friday morning, right as Jim is trying to catch his plane. Here we go. We're moving on in, and there you can see the morning hours there. You've got a lot of rain, heavy rain, 6:20 in the morning. It's still rain, so that flight takes off, because at that time you don't have the strong winds. Temperatures at that hour will still be in the 40s, so you're going to miss the big event, the switchover that occurs just a couple hours later, and then the larger winds that come in after that. So, Jim, you should be doing okay. Robin, thank you very much for sharing this. Everybody, share this. Hit the share button, whether you're on YouTube, Facebook, or LinkedIn, Twitter, whatever it is. Hit that share button. That's all I ask out of you, and we'll answer all the questions we can. Heading to New York City by car Saturday at 6 a.m. Should I drive? You don't have a choice, because you're not flying out of Buffalo. If you're looking at Saturday morning, 6 a.m., trying to drive, let's fast forward through time. I'm going to bring that up on the map. There you go. And it looks like that lake snow band, it depends on where you're leaving from. I don't think you told me where you're leaving from. It doesn't say. But either way, the toughest part, 6 a.m., you've got some big winds. If you could delay your departure, or depending upon where you are, you might get out. If you're within that lake snow band, you're going to have very difficult driving conditions, and it would be tough. You probably want to exit out of Buffalo before we get to Friday evening, if you could. If you have the opportunity to drive and leave a little earlier, that's going to be very beneficial. Let's bring this back down here. We've got Andy, Angola and Derby along the lake get it bad. Yes, they will. You can see that in the depiction here. Let me bring this full, because it'll be easier. You don't need to see me. You just want to see where the lake snow band is. It comes all the way up the lake. So here it is. As we get into the Friday evening, it begins to collect. There you can start to see it get organized, and you'll start to see that band. It won't be similar to the band that we had last weekend, where we had just the free-falling snow. This is sideways snow getting pushed by these huge winds, and it will encompass portion of the shoreline of Lake Erie from Dunkirk all the way up to Buffalo. This will get pushed. They'll feel the flakes all the way to Rochester on this one, believe it or not. It can actually go that far. Pendleton, 5 o'clock on Saturday. Let's take you to Pendleton as we roll through time here and keep on going. There you can see. And I'm going to go 5, 6, 4 o'clock in the area, 5 o'clock in Pendleton. It looks like this might be just south of Pendleton by that time. So your conditions in Niagara County should be improving as we head to the evening hours on Saturday, while some of the metro and south towns, you're going to find that starts to get a little messy. Hamburg just covered you there. You're in the mix for some of this blowing snow through the day on Saturday, and it looks like we're also going to see that as well. Last two storms missed you in Fredonia. That's correct. It came all the way up the lake and missed you. This time time around, I think you're gonna get the wins. No one's getting missed by the winds. I think if there's one thing you take away from this, it is going to be that it is an extremely windy event, extreme wind with this. Anytime you get 60-mile-an-hour winds, you're going to have these power outages, and you can see how this just scrapes the entire area. It's not just a little bit here and there. 86 in the info on 86 from Owego to our area Friday morning. Yeah, Friday morning in portions of the southern tier. Let me back to this, bring you in. You're going to have the same situation. You've got a lot of rain down there. And then and what's going to happen on Friday morning as we get there, let's bring this in. Here we go. Bring it in on Friday, and there you go. You're going to have the same situation, a lot of rain, some heavy rain at times, and then the switch over, and we bring it back. So 86 is going to have the same switch over time in that morning window between 8 and 10 a.m. You're going to get a couple inches of snow, and then it's moving on. All right, Joe says, thank you. Love to watch the forecast. Joe, thank you, and thank everybody else. Go ahead, and I'm going to take a quick drink. You guys hit the like and the share button if you haven't yet. We've got a ton of people in the room tonight. Great to have you along. I'm meteorologist Andy Parker, taking your questions and answering them in as rapid-fire question and method as I can. All right, there we go. Excellent. Love to see the numbers go up. That helps me, and I'm happy to help you. Christmas morning, this continues to go, and it does look like we're going to take this. I'll take it all the way to the end of our Saturday. Beyond Saturday, the exact location of the lake effect gets a little dicey. It does look like it's going to live more south than north on Saturday and Sunday. So it does look like the north towns, if there's some new information I can give you tonight, is that the north towns are looking better on Saturday afternoon and evening. No problem. Great to see you, Bill. Perfect. Someone said, Tracy said, I didn't put this on my Christmas list. Derby and Hamburg on Sunday. It might not be pretty down there. Derby's within the zone on Sunday where this could keep going, and the winds on Sunday will still be strong enough that you'll have some issues. Olcott. Now let's look at Olcott up there along the shoreline. What time does Olcott get hit? This is kind of an interesting situation because a lot of times Lockport and some of the north towns don't get involved. This time with the winds as strong as they are, I think your worst time is going to be Friday evening into early Saturday, and then it gets better as you progress through Saturday up there at Olcott. Orleans County, just covered you, same situation. It gets really messy and then improves as you go through the day on Saturday as this sinks further south. Although the wind gusts are for everybody. That's an all play as we see these gusts greater than 60, and they really don't drop. They don't stop. They just ratchet down a little bit. So we talked about Orleans County Gas Company in emergencies. There you go. Yeah. You work for you guys are going to be extremely busy. She knows exactly what we're talking about. The Kenmore area is going to get hit with this one, both the wind and the snow, Friday evening and then into early Saturday morning. And if it sinks the way it's supposed to, you might break out of that a little bit and be able to make it to where you want to go Saturday night. Amherst misses a lot of snowstorms, not this one. You're going to get the wind and the snow. I can't really separate the two right now. A lot of times we can give you snow totals when we have the lake effect events because we can say, well, the lake effect will be at this location for this amount of time with this amount of intensity. This time around, it's completely different because the wind is going to be at such an intensity that it will tear apart the lake effect. So the amount of snow deposited is going to be tough to measure and even predict, because of the way that the snow band will react to these strong winds. And you're not going to have that same even level of snow. You're going to have crazy drifts up the side of your door, garages, all that stuff. It'll be pretty wild watching this one go by. Wheatfield is in the house, and you got it, Preston. Happy to do it. Situation in Tonawanda during the storm. You are going to have these strong winds. Here's your Friday in Tonawanda. It begins with a flash freeze as we see a couple inches of snow. Then the big winds come in. Tonawandas are going to be worst on Friday, and then and should improve by Saturday evening and hopefully get some people where they want to go. All right, I knew we were going to have a question about the Buffalo Bills. You can't have a game without a big storm, right? We had one last week. We had the one a couple weeks before that in November. Here we go again. It's a storm. The holiday storm will be affecting the game. Can they get to Soldier Field? Can they get to Chicago? That means Chicago has to clear up, and then we have to be able to get there. So they're getting hit on Friday. It's just starting on Friday. It's going to be a tight window. The Bills have to get up and out of Buffalo and into Chicago. I think they're better off going Thursday, and I think they might be doing that too. School on Friday. Adrian, I think that schools are going to start to tap out on this one. Why? Because they have the snow days. This is a well-predicted storm, and the chance for ice is going to give everybody maybe an extra day off there. Another one that says, hey, what about school on Friday? They're thinking about it. Administrators know it's coming, but they're not going to pull the trigger now. I think they're going to wait until a little bit closer. Thank you, Carol. I appreciate it. Everybody out there, hit the share button for me all at once. I know we've just got a bunch more people come in the room. It's great to have you along. We're doing this for you guys, being able to answer the questions. A lot of times you look at the app on your phone or you're watching TV and you don't get the answer you want. This is where you come for it anytime. And if you want that question answered and you can't get it, just text 503-ANDY, 503-2639. Type the word weather and you'll get that instant response and you'll be able to get this, get the information when you want it. All right. I'm going to become a bear and sleep through it. That's about the right way to do it, Elaine. Good to see you in here tonight. Reminds me of 77. All right. The winds remind you of 77, but the lake is not frozen. So that's the big difference here. It is the same type of storm, but with a unfrozen lake, we're going to have lake effect snow. In the blizzard of 77, it was all dust coming off the lake in the form of snow. Won't it be too windy for any organized lake effect form? That's what I've been saying. That's very astute, Danny. Is it this will not be that very well-defined band that has a side, a north side, and a south side. It'll be something that's ripped to shreds, almost like pockets of snow getting thrown. If you took a giant fan and threw confetti in front of it, that's what this type of snow is going to be. It is going to be an absolutely wild day. Millie says she took the day off of work there. Do I think the 35 to 40 people all in Elma, Marilla, Lancaster will make Christmas dinner at one of, you've got 35 to 40 people in Elma and Marilla will make Christmas dinner at 1 o'clock. I'm going to bet that you're going to be able to pull that off. Here's why. You're going to have you're talking Sunday, I assume. The lake effect should be sliding further to the south. I think it has the ability to affect that area. That's my only concern. Even though the lake effect won't be as strong, you can see it depicted here. I think when the winds slow down a little bit on Sunday, the lake effect may organize and still be enough to cause some problems. So I'm going to say that I think you're going to be able to pull it off. But the folks are going to have to give themselves extra time to get there, no doubt about it. You could be right in the middle of this thing. I'm hoping, for your sake, it slides a little bit further south in the ski country. They'd welcome it down there. Amherst to work, Mill Grove, after 9 p.m. on Friday. Take a look at this. I'll answer your question there. You're going to start to see after 9 p.m., the lake effect machine starts and the big winds. It's going to boom. That's when it's going to bomb out, Richard. You're going to be in a world of hurt there. I would not want to be driving anywhere after 9 o'clock. Tonawanda, how much for us? Again, it's not about how much. It's about the timing of the combination. If it was just the wind, that's still pretty bad. Wind and snow is the worst combination. But let me bring it back up. If you're just joining us, we've got a lot of people. I can just see we had a bunch of people come through the door. Here's the combination of the wind and the snow. The big picture on this is as we widen this out, we'll go all the way out. If you're doing any traveling, I'm going to let this play through at one time, and you're going to see it. The clock on the screen, here it comes. You've got the rain on Thursday, rain on Friday, 8 a.m. Friday morning. There's the switch over. You get a couple inches of snow Friday. The temperatures plummet. It's icy, and then the lake effect develops. And as you can see, that lake effect is going to target areas just to the north and east of the lake. Not the interior southern tier, but it's going to be targeting areas like Buffalo, all the way up into Lockport, and then back down into the Southtown. So that's what we're watching. It's the combination of the wind and the snow. It's not just one or the other. Good thing Lake Erie isn't frozen. It would be, it was bad enough with the whiteouts. Yes, it is. How bad will Boston get hit? Boston probably won't get hit right away. I think Boston gets a couple inches of snow on Friday, and then you get the big winds, and you won't see the snow really come back into Boston, I think, until we get into the day on Saturday. I'll keep going. If you guys hit the like button, get it. Let's get us up to 200. And then also get the shares going. The more you can share this, the more people I can help. And it's fantastic to be able to do it. I love doing this, and I get such positive feedback from everybody out there. Happy to do it. This couldn't turn into a blizzard like 77. It won't. It won't turn into the blizzard of 77 because the lake isn't frozen, but you're going to have the whiteouts. And that's the big deal. That combination of snow and wind is the biggest issue with the whole thing. And that wind is going to be something that sticks around all day on Saturday. Kathy, I'm going to pull you off the screen here. And you can see that the winds are going to be extreme. The highest end of the wind that Western New York gets, between 60 and 70 miles an hour through the overnight and in the morning on Saturday. Some folks are waking up without power on Saturday. The winds slowly settle down to around 40 miles an hour with those gusts anyway. And then the constant speed is going to be about 25 to 30 with gusts of 45. That's how we get through the day. Not a pretty Saturday at all. That combined with those the lake effect snow is going to be pretty ugly. So yeah, this is not going to be a good one throughout the day. First day of winter. We haven't even started winter yet. Thank you very much, Patricia. Yeah, winter begins tomorrow. Let's see. Oh, here's one. I'm flying out to Buffalo. I'm flying into Buffalo International Friday at 1 a.m. Yes, you're going to beat it. I was thinking Saturday, but Friday, 1 a.m., you're good to go. This is just going to be rain about that time. Rochester on Saturday, Dave. By the way, nice reindeer nose there with Rudolph. I think you just plucked it. You plucked it off Rudolph and put it on. 90 to Rochester on Saturday is going to be ugly in the morning hours. The longer you can wait on Saturday, check this out. I'll do this just for you, David, because I know you've been in here before and we're good friends, so I'm happy to help you out. Let's go up to the Western New York view. We're going to bring this in as close as we can. I'm going to keep Rochester on the screen for you, and here's the timing. And I think you were saying Saturday, so there's the Friday switch, and then here comes Saturday. Look where that's positioned, right along the thruway Friday evening and Saturday morning. It looks like it may drop just south of the thruway in the morning on Saturday, but I wouldn't want to bet that this doesn't blow all the way up there as well. So I think you're going to have a bit of a dicey go along the thruway. The later we go into the day, I still think this is going to be affecting places like Genesee County and possibly Monroe County with the winds that'll be going. Batten down the hatches, it says, if you're on the lakefront. That's right, because you're going to have a ton of waves. We're going to have a lake stage that pushes the water to this end of the lake. It'll be an absolutely crazy situation. We could see the lake go up 7 or 8 feet from the level that it's at now. Schools on Friday may close. I think that we've already covered that. A lot of schools are already talking about it. What about Christmas Day? Christmas Day is in the teens and low 20s, wind chills in the single digits, and you still have winds at around 20 miles an hour. You take the big gusts out of it, but it is going to be an absolutely frigid Christmas. School on Friday. So many people are wondering about this. I am too. I'm expecting my kids to be home. I'm planning for it now, that they're going to be not going to school on Friday, just to be better safe than sorry. If they go, it'll be a pleasant surprise. Amherst, Friday and Saturday. Here's your Amherst situation up there, Andy. This is what we have. The 40s going to 30s, the flash freeze in Amherst. You're going to see a couple inches of snow, and then those winds kick in, and it gets ugly into the evening hours in Amherst. Big day. What do we have here? Good day to call in to work. Yeah, if you don't have to go, don't go. Take down the deck. Oh, I love this question. Joel, thank you so much for bringing this one up. Let me give you the idea, the timing on the arrival of this, because I've had this question a lot and I've neglected to answer it yet. So as we look at Friday evening, I think you want to have those, if you can get them down Thursday, because if you wait until Friday morning, you're okay. But then once you transition into that early afternoon on Friday, let's see if we can run this clock here and get it going. Is it stuck? There it goes. So once you get into the afternoon and evening hours on Friday, it's too late. You've lost it. You're going to see that the winds are really going to ratchet up. And then overnight, Friday, it's gone. So if you don't like something in your front yard, you want to get rid of it, just put it in the front yard and it will travel, because those winds, you can see the reds hitting all of Western New York, not just 1 or 2 spots. So that's an interesting one. Travel ban is going to be in effect. That's a tough call for this one. I think the combination could warrant it. I'm sure we'll get the no unnecessary travel clause, but whether they actually ban the travel on a holiday, that's going to be difficult. I think within the ban, when you look at where the snow ban goes, I think that the travel bans will be very narrow. if they occur. Because this might not have, especially for the north towns. I think travel in the north towns could be extremely difficult Friday evening, early Saturday morning. Once this goes, if it slips south of Buffalo, I could see folks in the south towns and along the thruway. They might close the thruway for good reason, but I don't know that they'll put travel bans up on the holiday. It's such a tricky question. I'm glad I don't have to make that decision. Driving to New York City on Saturday at 6 a.m., is it worth it? If you can get out of Buffalo Saturday at 6 a.m., you'd be worth it. More wind than snow. That's what I'm looking at with this one. On Friday, it's only a couple inches of snow. And then as this storm gets going, it's going to be very interesting. The dynamics inside the lake effect band. Here's a burst of snow in the evening hours of Friday. That'll add to what's on the ground, and then the organized lake effect. Now, the lake effect will get sheared, ripped apart, torn piece by piece, and then thrown off the lake. I said, if you put a big fan and you threw a bunch of confetti in front of it and it just took off, that's the type of storm that we're going to have coming our way with this. So I don't think I think the wind is going to be the bigger factor than the snow. If it was just the snow, we all know how to handle it. We've had it 2 or 3 times, but the wind at this level, at these levels of wind, that is going to be the biggest problem that we're going to have here. So let's see what we have here. Eden schools, I think, again, I know it's on the table. Every superintendent out there has seen this forecast. They're looking at it, and they're thinking, yeah, it might not be safe. It might be safe going in, but getting them home could be difficult. We've got one here, Niagara Falls on Sunday. I think Niagara Falls on Sunday is windy, but the lake effect will be south of you by then. So I'm thinking Niagara Falls is looking great, looking better than other parts of Western New York on Sunday, but you'll get to where you need to go in Niagara Falls. Is this snowstorm going to be like the blizzard of 77? No. It is not, because it doesn't have, in the blizzard of 77, the lake was frozen. That's one big difference. Number two, it was frozen with about 3 feet of powder on top of it. And when the storm hit, the winds took it and threw all that snow inland. And it snowed very little out of that storm. There was only inches of snow. And this time around, the lake is open. So there's going to be lake effect. So it's different for a number of reasons. Similar winds, but different as far as where their snow is going to come from. So there are some similarities, but the unknown is the location that this lake snow is going to be in during the course of the day on Saturday and Sunday. All right, here we've got one here. Desiree wants to know, she says, Sunday at noon. Sunday at noon, you're in the 20s and teens. The lake effect band should be south of the city at that time, cranking it up. Stock up stock up on your products there, I guess. Thank you very much, Dean. I should have read that one ahead of time. Large profile semi trucks should be ordered off the thruway. You know what? Probably a good idea to sit this one out. I think they're going to have that stuff in the Midwest, and it should be a no-brainer for those guys. Yeah, all that snow came from the frozen lake. Buffalo Metro, super windy. The winds are going to funnel right up the length of Lake Erie and push that water up. You're going to have them funneling between the buildings. I don't know if I want to recommend this, but if you want to experience the closest thing to a Calspan wind tunnel, go over to Huron Street and right between City Hall, where you have downtown Buffalo, City Hall and the parking garage, and the winds that funnel through there will be enough to literally pick you up and move you. It's a really neat spot. I don't know. I don't want to advocate anybody less than 180 pounds probably shouldn't do that. 94 and dry heat. Don't tell me no different. Let me enjoy my thoughts. All right, we talked about the travel bans. That's going to be something that we'll let the superintendents call and the county commissioners and all that stuff. So they'll handle that. But the criteria will be there that we could see that. Is the lake frozen yet? Joel, not even close. Lake temp is still in the 40s last I checked. How bad will the surge be? It could be one of the top 5 surges recorded. I think we start looking back at some of these. We had a couple of good ones that were up to 10 and 11 feet in 2020, 2019. Even last year, December, I think we had a really good one, a really high one. I think this is going to rank right in there. This is a big one. Hey, Bradford, PA, you're in the house. Let's talk about whether or not you're going to get this storm. And let's do this here. I've got this out. Bradford, you're on the screen. We've got you in there. You're going to have the same situation as everybody to the north, Bradford. There's the rain for you folks. and then you can see the switch over just south of Olean. You're going to switch over to snow right there in the morning hours. You'll have a couple hours of snow in there. You'll pick up maybe 2 to 4 inches at most down there in Bradford, and then you're going to have the big winds. But look at the lake snow. Lake snow does not target you. So once you can get those big winds out of the way on Saturday, and then they start to drop down, I think you're going to be in good shape. But your Friday in Bradford looks a lot like everybody else, where you've got that flash freeze going on, and it's going to be really ugly from the morning where we transition from rain over to snow. Power outages, yeah, we're looking for power outages expected. And I know that the power companies are as well. Lake Sache, we just talked about that, and it is coming. Anyone with property along the shoreline of Lake Erie should batten down the hatches big time. What do we have here? Lockport on Christmas. It looks like the steadiest snow is going to be south of Lockport on Christmas. Here it is, Christmas Eve. I'll roll this through, take a peek at it. And there you go. You can see how the trend is for this to sink a little bit lower and lower each time. And so right now it looks like it does appear it'll be south of Lockport. Lake frozen yet. Hamburg area going to get hit by all of that. We talked about it. Big winds in Hamburg, and then we're going to get that snow. You can see that lake snow band coming right past us towards Hamburg there. Ron, thank you. I appreciate it. If anybody hasn't hit the like button yet, do that for me. We've got hundreds of people in here right now. Everybody, do me a solid. Hit the share button right now. If you do that for me, we'll keep going. I know it's almost 11 o'clock. You're going to get a better weather forecast here than you will if you switch over to the TVs, but that's fine. We're happy to help you. Just do me a favor, hit that like and share button, and we'll keep going. Amherst on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. All right, Andy, I think we covered Friday. It's on the screen right there. Temperatures going down. This is your Saturday with those big winds, and then you want to know where the lake snow is going to be. That's the other big question, and here's your answer to that on Saturday as we watch this go through. It's Friday evening. Is going to be really messy up there in Niagara County and then in Buffalo. And then I think it sinks just to the south of the city. That's the prognosis right now. That's the thing we're going to refine as we get a little closer. Temperatures are going to be frigid. As I showed you this before, on Friday, we drop from the 40s to the teens on Friday evening, and then that's where we stay over the course of the weekend. Saturday, I know no one's asked about it in a while. The Buffalo Bills have a little game out there. This is a big one for them. They could use another W. The question is, when do they get there? They might have to leave Thursday to get into Soldier Field. It is going to be frigid there. A frozen tundra, 100%. That is going to be a mess. Yeah, Kelly, we're going to post this for rewatch 100%. As soon as this is done, it'll go up and people can go check it out. Thursday travel to Buffalo from Jamestown, 10:40 and 11 a.m. You're going to, okay, that's no problem. Here it is. It's going to be all rain. And that's a great question. We haven't really dealt with Thursday. People have some action. Let's go ahead and bring this back. And there's your Thursday right in here. As we come in, you can see the rain coming in. And by the evening hours on Thursday, you've got rain. It's all rain. It stays rain all day Thursday night, some heavy rain until you get into Friday morning. And then there's that changeover during the course of the day on Friday. Let's go in here. Will it cause a lot of ice buildup on the lakefronts from the winds? Joel, a great question again. I love the, I should say the acumen of the people in the room tonight, because there's going to be some of the most awesome ice sculptures on anything near the lake. So you have the open waters of the lake smashing against the shore. All that mist is going to rime on the trees. Now, rime is an interesting word. So it's if you took an object and held it out, and as the water hits it, the mist keeps hitting it, it'll be encased in ice. It'll be take some great pictures there, maybe later in the day on Saturday before it gets dark. Lackawanna Friday night is going to be getting hit pretty hard. You can see as we move through time. I'll take you from the morning into the evening here, and there you go. It looks like right in there, those big winds are coming in, and while the lake snow will be to the north Friday evening initially, I think it does come back through right in there. And during the overnight Friday, that's when you're going to get yours. And in West Seneca, this looks like it's going to be another one there. Hey, Jeannie, it looks like West Seneca, after a flash freeze, you get the big winds on Saturday in West Seneca. And then we're talking about bringing in the snow there as well. Maybe not Friday night right away because it's in the North Towns. But it looks like as we progress through the day into early Saturday, West Seneca gets involved in this. It's going to be a close call. That's one of the things we're going to be refining as we get a little closer to this. Travel, Hamburg, North Collins on Sunday. I think it's going to be a tricky go. That's where the lake effect snow band is going to be living on Sunday, and it depends on the intensity that it still has. It will be weakening on Sunday, but still alive, and it looks like it might be in that area. My plow contracts are for 4 inches plus. Will you be out plowing? This is such a tough call. When you have 60-mile-an-hour winds like this, and if that's the way it looks, you're going to have blowing and drifting. Some spots in the parking lot will be absolutely bare. Others you'll have hip-high drifts, and it'll keep getting redistributed. So I'm not sure how you'd even attack a plowing situation in that. As soon as you plow it, it's going to go. It's that light, fluffy stuff. So for plow contractors, anybody that's dealing with snow removal, you got to take what happened last weekend and throw it out. This is an entirely different animal when you factor in the winds like this. So I know you said 4 inches plus. Honestly, you could have 2 inches of snow and have this thing go sideways and end up with some pretty big drifts. And even if you do try to plow it, it's only going to continue to blow and drift around. So a very difficult situation. I don't envy you. Kelly in Jamestown, you're going to get hit by the rain to snow, or right in here. And then you get the flash freeze, temperatures go down, but it looks like the lake flakes stay north of you Friday night. Jamestown may miss the lake effect snow until late Sunday, possibly. All right, how about travel evening 5-ish from Springville to Cleveland on Saturday at 5? So if we look at where this is, where it's forecast to be at this time, that is going to be, I think she said Springville. So Springville on Saturday, I think she said 5 p.m., 5-ish right there. Assuming that's, evening, 5 p.m. You're going to have to drive through that. That is not going to be a fun trip down to Cleveland. So you might want to prepare for a long ride on Saturday evening. You still got pretty big winds there. Cam Miller says, hey, everybody from Jamestown. There we go. A lot of Jamestown people in here. Do me a favor, hit that share button. It's been a while since I've asked. Pound that button right now. Give it a chance. I'm going to get a drink of water, and I've got a bunch more questions. I've got Ann, Allison, Matt, and Christina all up next. All right, will the travel be safe Friday from Niagara Falls to Jamestown area? On Friday, depends on what time. This is what your Friday looks like, and this is where it's going to really get dicey. After we get through the morning hours, you're going to get the winds, and it's going to be a slick commute. Here's why it's slick, because you have that changeover from rain to snow right at about the time you move into the morning hours of your Friday. So here's Friday morning coming up. It's rain in the morning. If you can travel before 8 a.m., you're guaranteed to just be the rain. If you wait, that's when it switches, the winds pick up, the temperature drops, it gets icy, and any of the slush is going to freeze. So that's my advice to you there, driving that on Friday from Niagara Falls to Jamestown. That's going to be a tricky one to cover during the day on Friday. All right, Sunday for West Seneca, going to be, again, blowing and drifting snow. We're going to have still some winds at 25 miles an hour, bitterly cold. It'll feel like winter in West Seneca on Christmas Day. The question is, where will that lake effect band be? Still one day too far for us to really get a good handle on that, and we'll be watching it. Christmas Eve around 5 and on for Depew. Christmas Eve in Depew, 5 and on. Let's go ahead and bring that in. Here's the lake snow band where it's forecast to be Christmas Eve at 5 o'clock. There's the morning hours, and I'm going to stop it right back in there. It looks like right now, and again, this is not set in stone. This is good news for you, but it's going to be, it looks like maybe near the stadium at that hour. There's still a chance it's up near Buffalo. I'll be honest with you. The window is going to be from Buffalo to Springville in the afternoon and evening hours on Saturday. Another day, we're going to be able to tighten that window up a little bit more and have a little more confidence in it. How bad do you think Hamburg will be? Hamburg is going to be very bad. You're going to get the big winds on Saturday. If you haven't heard, the big winds come in the overnight Friday. And then as it comes through, the winds slowly ratchet down. This is a prolonged period of extremely strong winds, a really bad situation. The Sabres game came up again, and it does look like it's going to be pretty hard to get people out of there. So I think they may end up, once they see Friday evolve, there's likely going to be, I would bet that there's a 70% chance they could cancel that thing. Not because of the weather going in, but because of the potential of the weather going home. Traveling from Springville to Ohio area, I think we covered that one, right? All right, let's slide down a little bit more. Flying into Buffalo at 1 a.m. on Friday, we covered that one as well. Let's get back down here. Lackawanna and how about Lackawanna Friday evening, Kathy? That is going to be a messy situation on Friday evening in Lackawanna, let me tell you. Let me come back down here, get some more of these in here. All right, we've got Matt Bove. Can I get back to Buffalo from Chicago on Saturday night? Do you want to stay in Chicago on Saturday night? No, I don't think that's going to be a tricky one. Let's do this for Matt Bove. Matt Bove is an excellent sportscaster, and I call him for for sports questions, fantasy stuff, and here he is asking one, so we'll serve him one up here. Saturday night, after the game. So this is Saturday during the day, and then you can see as we get into the evening hours, it looks like it might be south of the airport. If the snow is south of the airport Saturday evening, which it looks like it is, the winds will be down to the point that planes will be getting back in. By 6 p.m., you'll have wind gusts that'll be less than 40 miles an hour. That'll be the threshold. They should not be crosswinds either. So that means that the planes can land into the southwest wind and take off into that at a level that'll be safe. Visibility should be better there as well. Happy to see you in here, Matt Bove. That's awesome. Good to talk to you, buddy. Copied and pasted link. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Hey, we're almost up to 300. I need. Let's go 30 more. Real quick push. I need some likes and some shares to keep this thing rolling, and we'll keep answering all these questions. I've got William, Cam, Lisa, Dave, Jeff, Sam, Kat. I've got a whole bunch in here. We're ready to rapid fire knock them down. All right, Blaisdell shared the live. Thank you very much. Praying for the UPS driver. You got it. This is not going to be fun for them. If you're expecting packages on Friday, the cascading air travel problem that is coming from the Midwest could cause those to be delayed as well. Here we go. What do we got in here? What do we got here? Friday evening in Lackawanna. I think we covered that one. I'm sure we did. Sarah's got what are your thoughts for Hamburg Friday to Sunday? Friday is going to be, again, you've had that flash freeze coming in the morning hours there, and then they got the big wind. So here's Friday. Temperatures drop. It turns icy. There's your big winds on Saturday. They slowly ratchet down, but that's what it's going to look like because you've got all this lake snow that begins to develop and gets thrown around, and it's the super fluff. When you have temperatures that are this cold, you are not going to get the heavy, wet snow, not at all. This is going to be the real light stuff. You got it. The Rochester Talk, happy to do it for you, Scott. No problems whatsoever. Is this going to be a potential October storm in December with downed trees? No, it won't, because the trees in October had leaves. These ones don't. There will be branches down, power outages. Every time we go more than 60 miles an hour, we end up with power outages, no doubt about it. Will the thruway be closed? Midday Saturday, Dunkirk to West Seneca. If there's a time for the thruway to shut down, it looks like it'll be in the morning to the afternoon. Here's why. That's when we're going to have the strongest winds, so the wind gusts will be extreme. You have those winds with any amount of snow. I don't care if it's just a half inch an hour. It's going to create blinding conditions out there. So I think if there's a window for that to be closed, that's where it's going to be. Hello, Newfane. Great to have you in the house. Michael, it's awesome to see all these folks in here. We've got... how does Lockport look for Christmas? All right, Lockport, let's get to it. You've got the same situation. Everybody, I want to stress, is identical on Friday. There's no changes in the morning. The change comes as we get to the afternoon. And I think the question was, I lost it there, but it was, how does Lockport look for Christmas? And if you look at this here, Friday into, there it is, coming in Christmas Eve, I think you're going to have snow on the ground Christmas Eve. And then the bet is that this goes south of Lockport during the day on Saturday and should free you up. So you're going to have gusty winds, temperatures in the teens, wind chills below zero. Whatever snow you have on the ground may be all you have to deal with in Lockport beyond that. A good day to be at Erie Basin Marina and watch those swells. You got it. If you've got a camera and you want to bundle up for that one, you're a better person than I. Susan, thank you for stopping by, and I appreciate it. We're 15 away from the 300 mark on the likes. Go ahead and smash that button. Hit the share button for me. Keep this rolling. We get out. It's because of you. What the information that we give, you drive the bus. If you ask the question, we're giving the answer, and it happens because you hit that like and that share button. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. How's Monday? North Boston, Cheektowaga from Lost and Union. Monday is looking better. Still cold on Monday, but the lake snows are going to be diminishing. I think this is kind of a very windy and cold memory by then. Saratoga County, stay safe out west. And then in Saratoga County, they're going to get some snow further east later in the day on Friday. What do I think of the wind drifts? They're going to be big. You're going to get these big drifts of snow that are going to develop during the course of the. You'll find the drifts there Friday night. And the snow that you get Friday morning is slush. The snow you get Friday night is the powder, and that's the stuff that's going to go. Williamsville does the best job at plowing and salting their side streets for 1 or 2 feet of snow. There you go. Well, there's shout out to the Williamsville plow people. No problem. Flying out of Toronto on Christmas. Problems. Well, let's go ahead and look at this on Christmas. I don't think Christmas Day you're going to have any problems up in Toronto. And the reason I can say that is because as we look at it here, the direction of the lake snow on Christmas Day is going to be such that it does not affect Toronto off of Erie. If there's going to be something that gets you, it could be these westerly winds coming off of Huron. So as we kind of roll this back and watch what happens here for our friends in Toronto, you folks will have the big winds, you'll have some snow showers, and it looks like you'll be kind of, if there's a connection, you could see some snow showers in Toronto on Saturday, but I think by Christmas, things settle down up here very much so. Could we see a foot or more in terms of snowfall? It is going to be exceptionally hard to nail down the total amount of snow because of the wind. It's going to tear apart these lake bands. It's going to distribute it in bursts of snow. And then also it's going to be blowing it. So it's hard to say how much is going to fall in one spot. It's going to be essentially a spread of snow, inches of snow, drifted and blown all across the area. Will Pembroke and Batavia get hit by both Erie and Ontario? No. This should be a Lake Erie event based on the wind direction, not really an Ontario coming into play. Will Hamburg be the epicenter again? On Saturday, it does look like Hamburg will take center stage. Maybe not as much Friday evening. I think Friday evening has the North Towns in there. And then here we go. As we get into Saturday, that's where this could live over the immediate lakeshore. But it'll be interesting to see what happens with those strong winds. South Buffalo is still terrible on the side road. If you can shovel out any of this stuff that's there now, get to it, because it is going to be an icy mess by Friday. We talked about the Sabres game not being a great situation. Coming in is going to be better than going home, but I have a feeling they're going to end up canceling that. And as we slide down the list here, okay, here we go. A commercial contractor, properties in Tonawanda, the western part of Amherst. The worst part of this is going to be the flash freeze. On Friday, Rob, that's the worst part that you're going to have to deal with is the morning hours. You get a few inches of snow. If you can get it cleared, whatever water's there is turning to ice. So you want to get that. You want to get the slush cleared, whether it's your driveway, walkway, or a plow guy. Get that done early on Friday. Then you're going to get the flash freeze, which you're going to have to salt. And then the next round of snow comes in, and that'll hit you Friday evening there. And it looks like, hopefully for you, by the time you get to Saturday morning, that stuff is gone. But you're still dealing with those winds, so plowing and shoveling will be a giant mess. Chicago to Buffalo on Monday, A-OK, no problems there. Olean on Sunday, you get the big winds in Olean. On Saturday, those slow down, and the lake effect should stay north of Olean on Sunday. You'll just be exceptionally cold down there. It'll look a lot like this in the North Towns, and a lot like this in Jamestown and portions of the southern tier. I'll leave this on the screen. I want to bring this full one more time to give you guys an idea of how this evolves as a a large-scale storm as it moves on through. If you just came in the room, go ahead and hit that like button. We're 6 away from our 300 goal here for a while, and hit the share button as well. We're doing this for you. All we ask in return is that you hit that share button. Super easy to do. Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, you name it. We're there helping everybody here. What time does the snow transition on Friday morning? Tracy wondered about that. I've got a graphic that'll do it here, and it'll pop it right on the screen. You can see that happens between about 10 and 12 o'clock. That's when that happens. So you go from rain to snow in the 8 to 9 o'clock hour, and then it goes right in there from around maybe 10 to 2 is when we'll start to see it ice up. Awesome. All right, let's continue on. Let me see, how far back am I on these comments here? All right, I'm about 20, 25 back. I'm trying to go through these as quick as we can to catch up. Hamburg Festival lights on Friday night, not happening. I can guarantee they're going to shut that down pretty easily. How about Ellicottville for Monday the 26th? Looking good. Looking good. Hopefully they'll be making a lot of snow down there, and these can once the wind dies down, hopefully they'll be able to do a lot of snowmaking with this cold air. Noon. What do we have here? It says Sunday noon from Angola to South Buffalo. It looks like we're going to be doing okay. Angola to South. So you're coming north. I think you'll be better. Angola will be worse than South Buffalo, I think, on Sunday. Whatever's left will be weakening during the day, so you find improving conditions. Flying out of Toronto Christmas Day, not having problems there. And then let's go work our way backwards here. Northtown cities are in the bullseye. Which Northtown cities are in the bullseye? Let's go back to the map, give you an idea of who's in and who's out. There it is. Let's go ahead and go to Western New York, because that's what everybody wants to know. You can see this large storm coming through the Great Lakes, but by the time it gets here, this is what happens. So the Northtowns are under the gun. It's all rain. Here it is Friday, rain, rain, rain. There's the switch to snow between 8 and 10 a.m., 10 a.m. to noon. It starts to ice up as the temperatures plunge, and some additional snow showers. I would watch the window here, and this includes Youngstown, Lewiston, Lockport, Niagara Falls, and then it slides over into the Tonawandas. I think Friday evening and early overnight could be very tricky for some of the north towns in western Niagara County, and then it starts to slide off to the east. But again, this is a very early forecast for this lake effect snow band, but I do think that's where it's going to be. Flights will be canceled. I think they'll start canceling them at some point on Friday. Because of two things. It'll be the wind speeds and the combination and the visibility. So whenever they either have winds in excess of their threshold, which will happen in the evening, or a combination of wind and snow that provides them the visibilities they can't take off. Crosswinds, probably not as big of an issue there. Amherst to Cheektowaga on Sunday should be doing okay. I think those two spots are going to be all right. Pendleton and Grand Island, you're going to get hit pretty good. This is the forecast for you here. As we watch what happens on Friday, this is where you, at the same thing, Pendleton and Grand Island, you're seeing that flash freeze, big wind gusts at both of those locations, 60 miles an hour through breakfast, and then it slowly settles down to 40-mile-an-hour gusts during the course of the day, and then you're going to have those snow. I think the heaviest snow for you folks are going to be the evening hours of Friday into Saturday, and that's the way we got. What's the weather for New Year's Eve? William, I can tell you it is cold through much of next week, but I haven't even looked at New Year's Eve yet. Everything is focused right on here at this point. Driving to Attica and back to Cheektowaga that night, what should I expect? What night is that, Belinda? If you tell me Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, we can help you out there. Varysburg on Christmas Day. Let's go ahead and look at that. We have not gotten called out to Wyoming County, but Varysburg, let's take a peek on Christmas Day. So I think what's going to happen is, as we move through Christmas Eve, I've got this going through Christmas Eve in the evening hours. I think Varysburg, you are in play during the course of Christmas Eve in the afternoon and evening hours, and then also on Christmas Day. I think both of those offer you the opportunity to get your snow. I don't think you're going to see it as much Friday evening, but I think as we go to Saturday afternoon, Saturday evening, and Sunday, that's yours. Thanks, everybody, for hitting those likes and shares. Appreciate it. I can see the numbers here. That's awesome. 2 thumbs up for everybody out there. Beginning to look a lot like Christmas. That it does, Orlandra. Beautiful name, by the way. Thank you for stopping by. Driving Saturday night in the Buffalo Metro. I think if you look at that map, Saturday night, you might be able to move about northern Erie County. If this plays out the way it looks, the shift south of the city could occur there as we get to the I'd even say the late afternoon hours right now is the way it looks. It's not set in stone, but that's an optimistic view for you in and around the city of Buffalo. Saturday, she's making the trip. So Belinda, I know I just saw your comment up here somewhere. Saturday, you're driving to Attica and back to Cheektowaga that night. From Attica, you can see it there on the screen. As a matter of fact, what I'm going to do for you is let's go in a little bit closer, bring Attica in, and you want to go from Attica to Cheektowaga, and you want to do this on Saturday night. So there it is, Saturday night, 10 o'clock. I think you might end up starting in the snow, but the closer you get to Buffalo, things will improve. But I know the roads out there, when you're coming up, when you're by all the windmills and you're coming down out of there, in some of that country off of 77, if that's the way, once you cross 77, any of that open road is still going to be susceptible to some blowing and drifting snow. What do we have in here? Driving Saturday night, but we covered that one. Is there a power outage likely? Is there a power outage likely map? Here you go. What I would do at this one, Kyle, is anywhere that you see this pink on the screen, that is the highest probability for power outages. We're taking a look at this right now to see if we can refine that. But when you watch this, the power outages will likely, right as you get into that from around 10 until 2, that's the onset of it. The biggest winds come right in there through 6 in the morning, and then they slowly ratchet down. So your window of opportunity for power outages is going to be through the overnight hours of Friday. And it looks like the area of that is not just confined to 1 or 2 spots, but it is pretty much a good chunk of Chautauqua County, all of Erie County, Wyoming, Genesee, and then you throw that all the way up into Niagara and Orleans as well. So when it comes to power outages, this is an all play for power outages, no doubt about it. What else do we have in here? He wants to know, what am I drinking? Not coffee. It is it's just water to keep going here. Maybe when I'm done with this one, I'll put something else in that cup. But right now we're just going water. Metro area, we covered that for Cheryl. South Buffalo is going to be windy, wind blown. You're not going to want to walk outside. I'm telling you, folks are going to look out the window and not see anything. And then they're going to say, yeah, we're just going to pass on this one a little bit. Merry Christmas to everybody. Merry Christmas. How bad is South Buffalo? Thank you, Trish. Appreciate you stopping by. Thank you, Kyle. I appreciate you guys as well. Unless there's any other questions, we're at about 11:21 here. So I think we've covered just about every question folks would have about this upcoming storm and what we know so far. And I want to communicate what we know is that the timing of the arrival of this storm, as you watch it here, this is the arrival, and it's going to be Friday morning. And it starts as rain. Let me pull you off the screen here, Joel. It starts as rain, switches to snow. Then you get the flash freeze, and everything ices up by the time we get to the afternoon. So slush is now ice, temperatures in the teens. Then those big winds come in, and they smash Western New York Friday night and into Saturday morning, slowly settling down between around noon to 6 into that more manageable 40-mile-an-hour gust range. But then beyond that, that's when this storm takes over and the lake effect kicks on. And what you're going to notice here is as that storm gets close to Western New York, that switchover comes in right there in the morning. Then you start to see the lake effect kick on, first in the north towns, then slowly settling south. And that is the thing that we're watching closest. Where is that lake effect band going to settle? How long is it going to be there? And how much snow Saturday and Sunday? And it looks like whatever falls is really going to get thrown around. And Elma, you're in that mix. You're in the snow zone, Elma. I would prepare for a very snowy Saturday afternoon for everybody there. Hey, I want to ask one more time before we go, hit that like and share button. We're going to do this again. If you hit subscribe or like this page, you'll be notified when we do it. It'll give you it's a nice little tone that plays on your phone saying, hey, you're live, and we're doing an update for you there. Appreciate everybody. We will see you back here on your phone or whatever tablet you have with an update beginning tomorrow morning. Thanks so much.